back, everybody. Good to see you once again live in living color. Let me do real quick. Just send this out. Let's send this out everywhere so the world knows. Now, there we go. And that's sent now. Let's get started right off into this, shall we? What's up? I'm Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. Can't stand Keith. Oh man, not Keith again. Yep, this is the new time. We're going to do this at 4 o'clock now. No more Crypto After Dark, which means I'm going to make a new intro. That intro has been going since 2020. It was a good ride. Met a lot of cool people, did a lot of cool stuff. Went places where I never thought I'd go. Done things that I never thought I would do. Had quite the time doing it. But it appears that a new chapter is going to start, right? A lot of those old memories are just gone, and I don't think they'll be back. So it's time we start making new ones. You know what I mean? It's time we start making new memories and figuring out what it's going to take to start doing some new stuff around here. So let's get off into it. Welcome to Crypto Before Dark. Please, if you haven't done so, go hit like. It costs absolutely nothing. Hit the like button here while you're there. Hit the notification bell and subscribe. That's for you people over on YouTube. If you're over on X, go give us a like, repost the stream. I'll be glad to shout everyone out who reposts the stream. I'll even tag you and say thank you when you do it. And if you're over on our alternative viewing platform, Rumble, give us a follow over there. Give us a share around. Let everyone know you're watching over on Rumble. I love Rumble. Would you believe Rumble? We only have a couple hundred followers over there, but Rumble makes more money than YouTube with 10,000 or 11,000 subscribers on it. It's still not a lot of money. $15. $15 is more than what I made on YouTube. Wild, huh? Yeah, kind of makes you not want to do YouTube anymore. But YouTube is the conglomerate. They're owned by Google, and most of you people just want to watch there. Makes no sense to me, but it is what it is. So nonetheless, glad to see you here. Let's get off into our normal stuff. Let's hit some charts. So I'm going to start with Bitcoin, then I'll matriculate our way down through everything here. So Tuesday, we were watching this candle here thinking, oh no, I don't like the way this looks. Not good. What are we going to do? Sure enough, things play out and this thing runs right into that 100 moving average and back tests it just like we said we thought was going to see happen. Unfortunate, but is what it is. I did not expect that price to jump up through all of this mess and magically come out on top of it. Just didn't expect it. With the way that the whole monetary system is kind of in turmoil, I thought it was the wrong time for a move like this to try to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to be middle of the month to end of the month. Definitely not the beginning of the month. So we just passed the beginning of the month. I'll spare you the sound effects. It's not worth playing sound effects when the market's in free fall. All right, so just keeping it real. But nonetheless, we hit that 100 moving average and we fell directly back from it. It's also the 21 EMA, exponential moving average, which is very similar to a moving average, slightly different math, a little smoother, a little quicker. That's the purple line. It also hit that, faded instantly after it hit it. What about our liquidity levels? That's the daily. We'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go down a little bit lower and see where our liquidations are for longs and our liquidations are for shorts. So our short levels still remain the same. What liquidations we did get just came, snap your finger, right back where they were. We still got our big liquidations up here at about 117 even, but call it 117 to 117.6, 117.5. Then we have our secondary liquidity level down here, which starts at about 112.5 and ends up at about 13.5. So $1,000 swing in there where that liquidity range is. All right, just the other day, actually yesterday, we started a new liquidity level slightly below the first one. Another lower high has formed. More liquidity has piled in there at 112.3, call it 112.4. All right, and below that, another on an even lower time frame. If you go down to like the 1 hour, the 30 minute, or the 15 minute, you'll see that even another liquidity level has been formed. Great. Shorts, 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 lots of shorts. And if I scroll out a little bit here, more shorts. What about the longs? What about the longs? Do they have a chance here? Well, yeah, they have a chance to keep blowing it. All right. So here's our two liquidity levels to the left from the longs, from where the buying happened. That is down here, starting at about 107,250. We have tickled that number, but we have not pushed through it and gave a nice solid wick yet, which tells me we have not sent that big liquidation down yet. Furthermore, below that, we still have our liquidity level at about 105,250 to 105 flat. That one's really going to sting if that happens. And I'm here to tell you, don't get your hopes up that it won't. Everything keeps failing. I just showed you the daily chart, right? So now that you know what these lines are, those where our longs can be liquidated, the green boxes, and where our shorts can be liquidated, the red boxes. There's way more short liquidity right now for the longs to attack. However, they can't do anything until the trend is maintained. And here's the trend line. Oh boy, we broke it, right? Great.
Wrong.
We haven't done anything with it. So far, we haven't come down far enough for this to be a bullish back test. And so far, we didn't go up high enough, which would have been this previous high, for this to be a wick-off distribution. This thing would have needed to close up here and maintain it for this to be a wick-off distribution, for this thing to come out on the top right here and give a couple more ups. It didn't do that. It closed below this level and simply faded. So now it has to work twice as hard just to get back to the same level, which at a best case scenario slows us down to molasses ass. Is what it is, but it's the truth. All right. So how about the daily? Well, you just saw me pull this trend line and show you that that's likely a breakout. Problem. Even if I leave that trend line there and I take it away there so you can see, we're failing the 8, 21, and 100 moving averages. The next available spot for this thing to bounce is where our first liquidity levels came in right there, about 108 down to 107,250. That's our first available catch zone. If we don't catch there, and I'll be honest, there's not a ton to catch it. The next available area is all the way down there at that 105,250 to 105 flat level. If it doesn't bounce there, folks, that's real trouble. All right. If this level does not bounce and we do not hold this support zone back here, that's new bear market territory. You better hang on is the point. All right. We cannot afford to continue going sideways and down for, I'll say it again, months at a time, like's been happening in the past. More and more, this particular asset, Bitcoin, has turned into a TradeFi asset. It does exactly what TradeFi does. Goes up for its little runs, finds its liquidity, marches sideways and down until enough buyers are present, finds a liquidity zone, nukes those longs, and then it goes right back up after nuking those longs and continues to go. That really only happens with high cap stuff, and you could probably consider everything top 25 now as a high cap, but most of that's altcoins, and we know how we all think about altcoins right now, so it's best to be careful with that. Now, another funny note is, what's really wild, a lot of dinosaur coins like Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Classic, Bitcoin Cash, Tron, and a few others have done really well. They're flying. And then you got other ones that are doing pretty terrible. They're in the top 25 like ICP. Matic was in the top 25 for a long time. Polygon, right? In the top 25 for a long time. Ripped apart. Algorand made it to the top 25. Ripped apart. Where's the trend here? Right? There is no necessarily green box of go for this like it was for that XRP chart that I showed you so long ago. All right. It's not existing so far. Just isn't. So we got to play by the rules that we've got. We've got to play the hand that we're dealt. All right. This is what it is. What's up, Legal Assassin? Shout out to Cheese. Shout out to Con Magoo over on X. Appreciate you guys watching. Everybody's watching over on X. Give us a follow. Why not, man? It's free. Costs absolutely nothing. Like the video while you're at it. Like the live stream and give us a repost. Click the little repost button so everybody knows you're watching it. What's going to hurt, bro? Won't hurt a thing. All it'll do is help the algorithm. All right. We look to do things a little bit differently than most crypto streamers that you're going to see on here. It's not how I do things. It never will be how I do things. We're always going to keep it real, even if it's to our own detriment. We're not going to sugarcoat stuff or try to make things feel good. We're always going to be straight with it. It is what it is. I'll be one of the few people who are going to do that for you. Everyone's going to sit up here and pump your bags up and tell you how rich you're going to be and this, that, and the other. If it ain't there, we're going to say it ain't there. I think that's where a lot of people have lost their way. They expect me to do a certain thing, and that's just not how I work. If you never saw that before, well, I'm your introduction into, oh, hell, that's how people talk? Yeah. Unfortunately, it's how it is, right? It might come off rough on the edges. It might come off mean to you. It might just sound like I'm talking down to you, and it's not the case. I want you to win. And because I want you to win, I'm willing to be brutally honest with you, all right? I'll tell you when you're winning, too. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to tell you when you're winning. But I'm also going to tell you when you're losing. And that's when no one ever does. That's what a large majority of the world doesn't have nowadays, is someone telling them that they're a loser and that they need to fix things. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so perfect. You're my special person. No, you're not. You're just a normal guy. What makes you so exceptional? What makes you so special and so exceptional that you're so much better than everyone else? Go. Now, there's about 10 or 20 people in the world that can actually say their reasoning. All right. And that's about it. Everyone else is on par with most people, or on par with a subgroup of themselves. For instance, you can be Bill Gates, you can be Elon, you can be some of the richest people in the world. Murdoch, right? You can be the guy who just bought a bunch of United Healthcare, and I'm blanking on Warren Buffett right now. You could be Warren Buffett. You could be Michael Brewery. You could be any one of those guys, but understand there's only about 20 of them. You could be an NBA player, right? There's about 200 of those guys, or 100 of those guys, right? They're killing it, but there's only about 100 of them. And everyone in that league, aside from 5 or 10, are all pretty close to each other. Then there's regular working Joes like us. Regular working Joes make, 40 to 70, 50 to 100,000 a year, somewhere around in there. And while we're a little different here and there, we're all packed in the same box. You're not exceptional. You're just a dude. What can you bring to the table to make it different? And the answer is not much. Neither can this chart. And that's why I bring it up, right? This isn't exceptional yet. I need to see a bullish engulfing on the backside of this daily candle, and this thing jump back over that 100 moving average and that 821 moving average, exponential moving average there, to move the needle for me and make this a little bit more exceptional than it was. All right. Now, yes, this was a 786. Yes, it did come down and hit this and bounce, but it has to prove it here. It's got to prove it. This market is so sketchy, and for it not to be correct and you jump all in and be wrong could super burn you down. I don't want to see that happen. Okay. All right. Here's our monthly look. I'll show you this every stream because there's just not anybody showing you this around the markets. I know this because I watch all day long and I see similar stuff, but I don't see anything like this that's scaled 1-to-1 each bull market from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, with dates, with arrows showing you a timeline, the whole 9. I just haven't seen anywhere else this similar setup. Just haven't. Now, that being said, you can see that we're still chugging along. We are barely hanging on to the parabola over here, right above the 1.272 fib, like we have been every single time before. Now, the question becomes, do we break north here and get up like these other ones did and run to our take profit fibs, the 1272, the 1414, and the 1618? And that's right back here where that little lock symbol is. Right down through here is our take profit fibs. That's all I'm asking for happening this time. I don't expect more than that. I just don't. All right. It's also going to depend if we bleed over into Q1, and I don't know if we're going to bleed over into Q1 or not. Just don't know that. So I can't sit up here and be for sure on how I know exactly how it's going to work. I'm just reporting what we've got. All right. Same thing here. I've got this one scaled nearly identically. Not exactly, but pretty darn close. 2016 on the left, 2020 on the right, and right now in the middle. This is that 1272 fib that you see right there. This is what time in the, actually I can move this. This needs to move. September, first week of September, and then first week of September. So first week of September in 2020 was red. This week, first week of September might be green. First week of September in 2016 was red. Looks like we might be green this week if we can hang on here for a couple more days. So far, this thing's just following along. There's nothing to report, good or bad. All right. Here's total 1, 2, and 3. You can still see total market cap broken out, total 2 and 3 broken out, but not above previous all-time highs. That's one fib right here represents previous all-time high. All right. You can see these two simply haven't broken out. And I do have target boxes drawn where I think both these might get to. in time. But we'll see if they actually get there. It depends on what Bitcoin does. And again, I'll say this over and over for the next several live streams. Monetary policy drives this stuff. Supply and demand is real and is a law, not a theory. All right. We live by supply and demand every day. You can talk all you want, but we measure supply and demand on a chart. All right. And you're looking at it. And right now, the demand is low and the supply is higher. So we need to fix that. Now, overall, for the next 60 years, could the demand be high and the supply be low? Yes. But there are so many mountains and valleys in between there. Okay. And the thing is, you need to know that you can optimize, make more, or take or reduce risk on your part, get your profits, and be a little bit more careful than just throwing your money around, because most of you guys are going to come in and just start buying stuff and holding forever. And 98% of these, like we've found out this bull run, we thought this would happen. We just didn't know it'd be this quick. Just simply don't ever go back up to where you thought they would go. That's all there is to it. You just simply don't get the reaction that you think you're going to get. So please be careful here. Today, you would like to see a good Thursday come in. You really need to see a good Friday now, because if you don't see a good Friday tomorrow, it's going to get ugly next week. Why? Well, there's simply not a whole lot of support here until 105. You know, you got some at 107, but again, you're still going down from 110 to 107. That's a big hole to fill. Here's Bitcoin dominance last cycle and this cycle. You can see a similar pattern, but stretched out a little bit different, not exactly the same, and playing out, but not playing out the way we want. Alt season should have started already, and by all accounts, most altcoins aren't doing well. And whatever little alt season might have happened didn't measure up to any of the previous alt seasons that we've had since 2016. All right, because all of those had an off season, and you saw total 2 and total 3. The tricky part here is it's only been a few assets that have done really well, and 98% haven't. That's all there is to it. It's been a bit of a crapshoot, and you can argue that yours is best, but you don't really have any proof of that. In fact, I'll say that some of the ones that people think are the best literally have no proof of it at all. So it's all subjective on that end. And I like to stay away from the subjectivity part, strictly stick to the objects, the charts. All right, so that's all the Bitcoin here. That went daily, weekly, we went through monthly, we went through 2 different fractals. We showed you Bitcoin dominance. I didn't show you Bitcoin dominance on the daily. And here that is, all right? So here's zoomed in to what you saw right here over on the right. All right, this is zoomed in to that, all right? This orange line was support. We failed that. That green line was an uptrend. It failed that. Now you have a downtrend, and a quite aggressive downtrend too, no matter how you draw it. If you draw it that way, if you say that's not good enough and you draw it this way, fine. If you say that's not good enough and you pull it down here and you draw it this way, we might have a little breakout here on Bitcoin dominance on the daily. What do we got for some confirmation? Well, you've got 2 candles in a row over the 8 EMA. Then you had a red and now another green coming in over the 8 EMA. This looks like Bitcoin dominance wants to rise while Bitcoin's price goes down. That's a bear market. Better be careful, because this could happen where Bitcoin dominance goes up and Bitcoin price goes sideways and down. That's a bear market 101. Let's be very careful and tiptoe through this, all right? It could 100% turn around on you and get ugly. This is proof, all right? Now, since I'm showing you this, let me show you stable coins. This is a market for all stable coins combined. USDC, USDT, and DAI put together. Call it most all stable coins. Point is, what I want you to see is, look at this thing jump all the moving averages right here and start throwing green candles on the 100. All right, running to the 200 isn't that far away. It's only 0.01% more than it already has, which is about $100 million. It's not that much. So it can go really quick the other way on us. Where would this come from? Either them minting stablecoins or people swapping one asset into stablecoins, whatever that one asset would be, whether that's Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, Link, Chainlink, doesn't matter. any of those into stablecoins increases stablecoin market cap. All right. And it would also increase total 2 and total 3. Make sense? Exactly. So that total 2 and total 3 gets a little tricky. I was going to show you that a little bit, but I wanted you to see that Bitcoin first, all the way down to dominance. Now we'll go over to the XRP chart and look at that, because this one's important. All right. So sure enough, I'll start with moving averages. As you see here, we are still kind of floating around. And what I mean by kind of floating around is we're not doing terrible, but this is clearly a downtrend right through here. You cannot deny the pressure this thing's got on it and can't get loose of that trend line. All right, draw it however you want to draw it, but that's something close. I'm in log mode. If I flip to linear, you're going to get a very similar look. So nonetheless, downtrend. All right. Moving averages, you have support down here at about 268 and even more down here at the 200 at about 250. Problem, that's a long way down, isn't it? From here, that fall, 11%. That's probably like how much is 11% of XRP? You'd have to look up the market cap, but it's a lot of money that would be disappearing. All I need to see here is a breakout. Break this trend line. Don't worry about the moving averages. Just break this trend line and we can start talking again. It hasn't done that yet. And since it hasn't done that yet, no proof, no go. Ichimoku cloud, here's some kickers. She's sitting on the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud. This could be worse. It seems like it doesn't want to fail here. It seems like it wants to hold on. Good. Prove it. Break over that conversion line, which is the blue line right there. That'd be a great start. That'd be a great start for me to look at it and go, hey, all right, you know what? You're making a move here. Good. I like to see you making a move. Better than not. Problem is you got 3 out of 4 red. You got a red cloud on the end, lag line under the candles, and the price, well, it's actually 4 out of 4. Price in the cloud needs to be over the cloud, and the conversion line is underneath your baseline. All 4 red, no thanks, not good enough. Pivot points. Under the pivot, but over S1. Dead in between neutral price action, all right? What about Bollinger Bands? Bollinger Bands pointing down, a novice move here, just sideways and down continuation until something changes with the Bollinger Bands, all right? So I drew this wedge here that I wanted you to see, because I think this might hold some water, right? It could be that we got a wedge, something like that. Whether that's perfect or not the point. But even if I don't do that and I draw this just based on support, I pull that up there and I just go, yeah, there's support right through here. Great. No matter where I put this, whether I put it up here or down here or however, and I think it should be somewhere around in there. Yeah, we're sitting on support over here, thinking about it. Until this makes another low down here, technically, it could be worse. This could chop out right here and then break out and everything would change. And I think that may happen, but not yet. All right, MACD and RSI, not much help here. You went super overbought, you rolled over. Same problem here with the MACD, all sell volume. For what seems to be over a month now is nothing but sell volume. That's not gonna get it. You've got more negative than you've got positive here. It's boiling, it's thinking about it. The Bollinger Bands need to get a little tighter. Break out north of the trend line, and we're looking more toward that $4 to $6 range eventually. Fell below that trend line, bear market. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, sweet. So that one's over. Sucks, huh? I hate giving bad news. Freaking blows, dude. I don't like being the bearer of bad news. We got 17 whole people watching over on YouTube. Y'all feel let's go give it a like, man. Free dollars. It costs nothing to go hit the like button. Why not? 300 people over on X though. How about that? That's pretty good. Shout out Wesley Hart, Jorge Diaz, Legal Assassin, Dab, Brother Beal, Brad Vincent. Good to see y'all fellas. Good to see you. Charts Can't Lie. How you doing, brother? All right. So that's Bitcoin. That's XRP. What's up, crew chief? Good to see you. Let's go look at Chainlink. That's a good one to look at. Similar story. You know, we got to be honest here. if we were to go down to 4 hour, I see a head and shoulders forming, right? Shoulder right in here, head and shoulder right in here. I see a head and shoulders forming. If this thing fails, that green line right there, oh boy, that's trouble. And that means not the end for Chainlink, but a big, really, really difficult to get through speed bump that slows everything down. We just don't need that. We've had such slow market conditions already. You would think surely they would shape up some. There's our trend line coming up right there. You can see a little bit subjective. You pick on how you think it should be drawn. We can all talk about it. You know what I mean? I literally just talked about XRP, Michael Murphy. I just spent a whole 6 minutes on it. So if I pull up moving averages, got the same story. 821 downward failure. But look, you're over the 50 moving average here. So it looks like down to the 50 at around 21 to 20 bucks could be a good support catch here and a chance at taking another shot to see if this thing can kind of try to correct itself. It's also a support zone. If we scroll back a little bit and look in history, back here we also had price action hold up right near this level, and here we are again. Right? It's been a contentious level all the way back to 2021, and I bet you could go back farther than that and find even more contention with this level. So as long as this doesn't get too much worse, not actually terrible. $20 to $21 is a fair statement to make, and a fair observation to be that it might bounce there. We'll just see. All right. Appreciate it, Bramful. Man, that's awesome, dude. Thank you. I don't want to get my hopes up on any of this stuff, but I like the fact that some of it's going back to support. The problem is you can't just sit on support forever. You got to move off of it, because if you don't move off of it, you threaten failing it. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see failure. Ethereum. So Ethereum, what looked pretty good yesterday and enticed me to start rebuying, immediately reversed today. Great. Good news is I only started buying with what I keep in a Dex wallet or whatever else. That's it. I didn't bust out any of the exchange money or any other big trading money to use that on Ethereum. Thought, hey, worst case Ontario, this thing goes sideways for a while. And it may still do that. But the problem is that bearish engulfing right there absolutely sucks. It's failing the 821 EMA. Now, I drew this line right here, and that may or may not be a correct trend line. You kind of see that right there. I had a hard time with it on that side, and then it kind of respected it on this side. We'll see. If this doesn't bounce tomorrow and give us a green bullish engulfing, I'm going to have to bail again. Is what it is. Sucks, but we don't get to make the rules. We just live by them. AVAX. So AVAX had, let me pull up a clean chart so it's better looking. I use Binance. Yeah, there we go. All right, so same situation here. You got resistance at the top. It's having a hard time getting through. Thing is, you're boiling here. So this is a rising wedge. You got two options. This thing either chops and gets to the end of the wedge and fails, which right at the end of the month, or she rises, gets above this, sits on top, and then takes a move up after that. All right, those are your two options for this particular price action. As things are going right now, I'm going to be honest with everybody, I lean toward down for most everything. But you can change my mind by proving it and getting above that line right there. And if you can do that and you can hold that line, I'm far more likely to believe you're ready than not. Good news here. We are over the 58 and 21 moving averages and exponential moving averages here. That's good. You like to see that right there. Even if it does fail, you've got support down here, but that would still suck and really suck the liquidity out of the market if that happens. Don't want to see that. Ichimoku cloud, you're still all right. You got a green cloud on the end. That's one. You've got the lag line over the candles. That's two. You've got the price still over the cloud. That's three. One small problem. The conversion line is under the baseline. You've got a no on that one. So you got 3 out of 4 on the cloud. Not terrible. Honestly, could be worse. Let's see it. Let's see you prove it. Let's see you prove it. Stay on top of the cloud here. Chop around, but stay on top of the cloud. And if it can do that, I think it's got a puncher's chance at making this move north. Can't do it? Well, rate cuts happen right here. All right. So Don't do it by then, you ain't doing it. And right now, there's about a 75% chance of yes on a rate cut, another 5% of rate increases, which is highly unlikely, and about an 18% chance of no rate cuts. And that's on Polymarket. And why do I bring that up? Well, it turns out Polymarket is one of the most accurate places to place your bets because money talks and BS walks. And what always happens with big money gamblers and people who really know what they're doing, well, they don't take bad bets because they know what happens when you take bad bets, right? They go with the odds. Odds makers are usually pretty darn correct. And right now it's 77%. I lean with those guys and hoping that happens. Do I think we'll actually get rate cuts?
Wrong.
I do not. I don't trust Jerome Powell farther than I can throw him. For what it's worth, I don't trust all politicians any farther than I can throw them. And that's all I got to say about that. All right. All right. So there's AVEX. Oh, you know what? I didn't say. Here's your RSI and your MACD. RSI is no help at all. And then your MACD, yeah. You're underneath. Blue under orange is incorrect. You want orange over blue. They are converging. You do have failing volume. Prove it. Give me a bullish engulfing on the backside of this, and we can change a lot of minds. But until that happens, we're stuck in the mud still. Stuck in the mud still. I need you to move. Can't move. You got to go. You got to get going. You got to move. You got to go. All right. VT. Let's do Binance. All right, so VT continues to flounder. Look at this. Every single time it takes a run at the 50 and the 200 moving average up here, that's the yellow and the red line, the 50 and 200 daily moving averages. Every time it does it, it just rejects. And here we are again, rejecting the 100 moving average this time. Now, I will say, look carefully, and you'll see that you are sitting on some support here. You know, fair. We got support that might hold up. You better hope it does, because if it doesn't, it's a long way back down to 20 cent or testing the lows that it made down here in April and in June. I would not leave it out of sorts to think that this thing can't come take down another stab and rip more liquidity from the market. It's happened so many times already. If you don't think that can happen, you are very wrong. You're very, very wrong. I hope you do. I hope you know better than that. All right, here's Jupiter, JUP, Jupe, available on most exchanges. All right, so you're failing the 200, that's the red line. You're failing the 50, that's the yellow line. You're failing the 821 EMA, that's the green and the purple line. You're failing the 100 moving average, that's the blue line. And overall, most importantly, you are failing the trend line. Not great on any of those. How about some other stuff? What about the Ichimoku cloud? Red cloud. Nope. That needs to be green. Conversion is over base. Nope. Base is over conversion. That's not going to get it. Lag line. Under the candles. Nope. Price under the candles. Nope. 4 out of 4. Not good. RSI. Are you any help? Nope. What about the MACD? Well, we have almost no bullish signs here for Jupiter, so it's not good. That one, I can't help. I just got to leave it be. Until that changes, off she goes. Quant. All right, what we got here for Quant? Gonna be a bunch of the same. Looks like it. So Ichimoku cloud. We want this cloud on the end to be green. It is red. We want the conversion line to be over the baseline. The base is over the conversion. That's not going to get it. We want this lag line over the candles. They're not. We want this price over the cloud. It definitely is not. What about the MACD and the RSI? RSI dead sideways, no help. MACD, more volume, still sweeping downward. That's a lot of buzzers, huh? Pivot points. All right, you are sitting on S1. That's not bad. All right. What about moving averages? Everything except the 200. This is the kind of chart that you think is going to do all right, and then as soon as you think it's going to do all right,
gotcha, bitch.
Out from under you she goes, yeet, and pulls the string. So for me, for quant, it's going to be a no until I see some improvement. You got to break the 821 EMA or give me a good bounce or a really, really, really nice looking candle down here before you move me off that hill, because I don't think this one's got the legs for now. What's up, Gimme Zale? What's up, Cody Kinsel? Good to see you. Good to see you, fellas. Let's see. 477 over on X watching. How about that? Are you depressed yet? Well, are or ain't nothing you can do about it. So learn to take it on the chin. If you thought this was losing, you ain't even really lost everything yet. Keep trying. You will.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm messing around. All right. So we did Bitcoin. We did Ethereum. We did AVAX. We did VET. We did what other one did we do? Jupiter. And we also checked Quant. Let's go look at OG Velo. Got to ask about this one again. All right, so this is Velo that's on multiple exchanges. He says, I can't take this pressure swapping over to X. All right, so Velo 4 hour, it's pure sell pressure, and there's absolutely no buy volume there at all. So we scroll out to the daily and have a look, and sure enough, pure sell pressure here too. All the moving averages are diving down very aggressively. Looks like a bit of a free fall. You failed S1. That's not good. Ichimoku clouds 4 out of 4. Nope. How about the RSI? Nope. That's pointing down. What about the MACD? Nope. That's pointing down. Not a great look. What you got next here? How about what about the Bollinger Bands? Nope. Those are pointing downwards. So unfortunately, this one is a till I see something improve, because damn, that looks like a train wreck. All right. So how about hype? As the tagline goes, believe the hype. No, don't believe the hype. So she's still over the 821 EMA, even after having a pretty ugly day like the rest of the market. I want to warn you, this thing is forming short-term head and shoulders right here, and these definitely could fail. So this is a tricky pattern right here. You are over the 821 EMA. You did bounce the 50 moving average. So if you're taking a risk here, you're taking a risk that this thing's going to hold $42 flat. If it doesn't hold $42 flat, we're going to 41 and likely lower, as all these moving averages are starting to shrink together and stack up in one spot. Pivot points, you're not far away right there at 43.65, but you're over it. That's good. And Ichimoku cloud, this is still 4 out of 4. Green cloud on the end. Blue line over red line, that's conversion over base. Price above the cloud, that's good. And lag above the candles. That's 4 out of 4 plus some. We can go look at moving averages like we just said. You got the 821 and 50 moving averages that it's over. Times 3. How about the RSI? No help or harm. It's just dead sideways. And MACD. You're still above the midline, and you still have not crossed blue to orange. So this one's inconsistent while it's above the midline. It's got sell volume with the orange line above. So it's an in-between indicator at best. We had way more indicators for good than bad, but again, I would prefer to be careful than be super risky right now. The market is so on edge about which way it wants to go, which way it doesn't want to go. I'm sorry, my eyes itch. What you guys can't see as I stare at these monitors all day long, there's a big bright light sticking in my face right there, so you guys can see me, because I keep it dark in here because the light starts to bother my eyes as I get older. All right, so one of the better lookings we've seen, and I still got reservations on it. What about Gala? Oh, man. What a stinker Gala has been. So under every single moving average, I mean, just dead under them. You can't say anything about this chart good until this thing flips those moving averages and creates them into a support zone instead of resistance like they are now. It's just going to be a hard no for me. Everything's under the pivot still. That's not good enough, and those pivots didn't even hardly move. My son's texting me. Hang on. A football practice, and I got to pick him up. He had a football game yesterday, or scrimmage game, jamboree. They got beat. Yeah, there's nothing good here for me to report until this thing breaks trend or gets over the moving averages or something. It's a no. It's just a no. XLM. All right, here's XLM. Similar story. Did you break out or did you not? Or are you just playing games here? Is this just a false sideways down move, or are we back testing, or what are we doing? Because here's the 100 moving average, and we're right above it. Not bad. What about the pivot? You're not far away from S1. So that's pretty good. Ichimoku Cloud. Well, I'm sorry. It's 4 out of 4 no on that one. Not gonna get it. So we've got some semi-good looking price action that it's on the 100 and it's trying to bounce, but we also have bearish price action. Big move down for the RSI, just no strength at all. That's why you're not seeing big candles, because it's got very, very low volume. And XLM also over here on the daily with the overbought. I mean, look at this thing went overbought and stayed nothing but sell volume from the middle of July until now. It had 2 days of buy volume. Everything else has just been sell volume. Very, very, very rough. It's quite impressive to have that much sell volume and nothing on the backside of it. You know what I mean? Sucks. It is what it is. Let's see. 538 over on X now. Let's go. Glad to see y'all on here, man. I'm trying to drink anything today. I just went with the Monster Zero Energy. I'm sorry, Zero Energy is correct. Zero sugar as well. And I'm definitely feeling that I've got no sugar. I'm also suffering from an extreme lack of sleep. If you guys have never tuned in to Saw before, I rarely ever sleep. So I usually go to bed around 2:30 in the morning, and then I get up around 6:30 when the wife gets up, starts rumbling around the house, and I got kids rumbling around the house, making food, making noise, making the dog bark, etc., etc. You just can't sleep in the morning here. But again, one's in early college, one's in middle school. Both soon will be in high school together, high school, early college together. Yeah, man, before you know it, they're going to be gone. I'm going to be sad as hell. So let's not even go there for now. H-bar. Here's the other side of the problems. All right. What do you see right here? H-bar failing the cloud where you saw XRP was not. XRP was doing a little bit better job of maintaining support than H-bar is. All right. If I take the cloud, it's 4 out of 4 no, by the way. I don't need to explain it again to you. There we go. Fib-wise, you are failing the 50 fib. Didn't want to see this fail. Wanted to see it stay above that. That sucks because you had support back here. See? I need to see this price get back up over that 50 fib and do it in a damn hurry. Otherwise, we're just going to keep digging the knife in deeper here. All right? I don't want to see that happen, but it very, very much can. You just had no buy volume for this H-bar chart, aside from a couple days here or there that are very sort of out of the normal. And as you see, you didn't have a single day in here that was good enough to make you go, oh, man, we're killing it. Nope, it's just all sell volume all the time. Straight from overbought, straight down into a halt. What's up, Crypto Big D? Good to see you, brother. I don't know what's going on, dude. I'm just surfing the waves, trying to figure it out myself. You know what I'm saying? Just surfing out here in Wonder World, seeing if I can find a landing spot. Ooh, look at that wave. You know what I mean? What do they call it? What was Aziz Ansari said on that show? Not the show, the commercial about kayaks. He's like, tell me a cool word for kayaks. And he's like, rapids. He said, look, I'm rapids. A very similar thing here for this one.
Come on, man.
That wasn't even funny.
Bruh.
I know. So how about we look at a couple more? Here's ICP that I was talking about. My gosh, top 25 coin. You would have thought something was in there. And look, this thing has just done nothing but sell off and sell off and sell off since that move that it made back in March of 2024. You said nothing else on the backside. The bull market lasted 2.5 months for only a handful of altcoins. Not all of them did that. And it's impressive to watch the rest of the market not catch back up. Allow Bitcoin and a few others to push the needle here. And the rest of us are just kind of stuck watching and can't do anything. You know what I mean? He says, I've had way too many beers on work social. Damn, you guys get to drink at work? Americans could never. Maybe one day. Anyway, we don't have any buy pressure here. It's all sell pressure. You're under all the moving averages. Not great. You're under the pivot. You're under the cloud. Your RSI and MACD look terrible. This is all just one big
Wrong.
And while you're at it,
Bloody fuck you, bloody.
exactly. Really, really sad and shocking to see ICP do so bad. Whatever, got to roll with it. Solana. All right. So, do we record Solana? Nah, we don't need to record Solana. It's all right. So Solana, similar story as what we've seen with a couple others. Looked like she was about to go, but she did not make a new high. It flattened out and made an equal high. That's not good enough. And now it's into the 821 EMA, and it may even roll south here and head towards that 50 moving average if it cannot maintain that 821 EMA. Weekly wise, you're sitting decent here, right on top of support. Still got this big move right here that's continuing to try to play out. Even this candle that we got right now isn't that bad. It's more of a consolidation candle to the right, and we'll see what next week brings. I think it likely closes somewhere around this area. You know what I mean? And since it's going to close somewhere around this area, I'll wait and see. There's no point in doing anything too silly, especially when daily charts look as bad as they do. You know what I mean? There's no point in pushing the envelope on something that you're not going to get. Pushing the envelope on something that you're not going to get a good return off of. So, let's look at BCH, Bitcoin Cash. And here's why I bring up Bitcoin Cash. Look at this rip Bitcoin Cash has been on. Look at the rip that Bitcoin Cash has been on. Most charts, folks, just simply do not look as good as this one. And I would argue this one doesn't even look that good, but it's pretty darn good compared to most. You still bounced right off the 382, the 50 fib, and now you're right at the 618 golden pocket fib start. You bounced it very, very well with the bullish engulfing here on the weekly. Not bad at all. Pivot points, we still got R1, R2, and R3 right up here in golden pocket, and then at the top of Sniper's Alley. You've got the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly looking great. If I flip it to the daily, you'll see it's very, very similar. You're 3 out of 4 on the cloud. The only thing you don't have is a conversion line flipping the baseline. That's the last thing that's left, right? Almost there. But what's up, Abe? Abe Abby said, great to finally catch a live stream. Glad to have you on here, brother. I will probably do this from now on. You know, just nobody watches. Just to be dead honest with everybody. The market's been such shit, and when you're wrong, like I am sometimes, it just makes it look even worse. You know, I never claim to be the best at this. I'm not. I never will be. There's always going to be people who are better than me at this. I think the difference in what I do is I can admit when I screw up and can try to kind of fix it. And I don't think that's a sentiment that can be echoed largely across the space. Call me crazy. Sushi. Here's one that had changed and looked decent, only to fail. 4 out of 4 no on the cloud. You're on this death triangle right here where you had an uptrend failure and a big downtrend, push it even farther, right? All this right here is this death triangle. I need to see you come out of this like that. Get out of this death triangle and break. And if you do not do that, you are destined to come right through here and back test more down and finish off the Bart Simpson that nobody wants to see happen. Nobody wants to see the Bart Simpson. Rates are going to, 17th. Problem is, Jerome Powell's a stubborn mule, and I don't know if he's actually going to come off the hip and cut rates or if he's just talking about it. And they talk the same way on the other side of it, too. They say, oh, we're not cutting rates. We don't need to. Well, you just said you needed to, and you might. Well, if you don't need to, why are you even talking about it? And that answer right there answers itself. They're talking about it because they need to talk about it because they want to see where the sentiment lies with us and when we even believe them. And none of us believe them. So, is what it is. CRV. So, I took all my profits on this one, as you guys can see on this chart, and it's continued to fall since I have taken profits. Excellent work, Keith. You have a parabolic down here that's following so far. Looks like it's trending back for the trend line. You failed the 50. You failed the 821. You're on the 100 moving average right now. That's better than bad. But again, we had another chart earlier just like this. You've got to get off this level and get moving, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in the mud here. I don't want to see anybody get stuck in the mud. get stuck in the mud, your money gets tied up and it doesn't go anywhere. It frustrates you very, very quickly. What about Doge? All right. Here's Dogecoin. All right. Still getting hammered by that trend line right there. You chopped around enough to fall under the 50 and fell the 821 today. It looks like it's going to ride support right here for a bit, and let's see if it does that. Let's see if it rides support and continues and gets this bowling point, whether we break this way or whether we break this way. And I can almost assure you one of those happens in that fashion, just based on the price action that we've seen in the past. That price action is echoed over and over and over and over. It's nothing that we're making up. It's just the facts. How about the cloud? 4 out of 4, nope. Lag line under, cloud red, price under cloud, blue under red. Not gonna do it. The so sorry, not good enough. Hopefully that changes, but it ain't. It says I'm bullish for the next 6 months. I would agree. Now, if you step out on the monthly, I would agree. Monthly looks different, but that's a rare feat. How about CRO? So CRO had an amazing several weeks here. So since July, she's been on a steady diet of up, and then you throw in the other day them saying something about news or whatever. I don't even remember what it was because I don't care, because I don't follow any of this stuff. I just trade it. But they had a big move up, obviously, as you see. Now, the thing is, that started to correct already. So where that move happened versus where it was now is about 70%. But I want you to look. It peaked out at 156%. So there was another 100% on top of that where profits got taken. All right. Please know that profits will be taken more often than they won't. And you guys don't have to understand that, but you'll be the guy giving your money away if you don't. If you don't embrace it, kind of prepare for it. You know what I mean? If you don't, you're just going to get screwed over. Let's go to, let's see, what do we want to look at? I got a list over here. I was just hoping for new ones that I didn't have to do too much. XTC, let's look at that. I say do too much, I mean digging around on live streams. It's a time killer and nobody likes that. All right, XDC. So, you know, we rarely talk about XTC. It just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But she tried to break the trend line here and it didn't. That's also where the 821 EMA was. Faded that as well. Looks like it wants to head back to that 100, 200 moving average cross situation. It's happening right there at the bottom. Not the end of the world. That's also going to be about where the weekly 50 moving average is. This whole big weekly chart is kind of boiling. It's going to keep boiling to the right and to make a move later. Well, we don't know, but I do like the fact that it's trying to come off that 821 EMA and give that 50 moving average a chance to kind of catch its grip and punch that price back up. It had a nice move, don't get me wrong, and it had another nice move on top of that. So she's already gotten up to where it was previous bull market, just based on how crappy the last bull market was too. Do you remember? I remember. All right. How about the daily? So RSI is going to be nominal. Not much help there. It's right in the middle. And then MACD swept way down, but I'm looking here. Look at that. You're running out of sell volume. These buyers are going to start coming in again. I think it's only a matter of time. Whether this gets flipped bullish or not, we'll see, but I think it will in time get flipped bullish. Thank you, Crypto B. Big D. You'll see, brother. Almost 700 people over there now. Let's go, dude. All right, we'll do one or two more, and then that'll be it. Ooh, XCN. We haven't talked about this one forever. We made a killing on XCN this time. So she failed the 200 moving average. She failed the 50, the 100, the 821 EMA. It's failed everything. The cloud, it's all a failure. How much farther down will it go? Well, we kind of talked about this, but she tried to hold that 50 moving average for support. I do think we'll get some sort of back test in here, and I think we're likely coming down to wait on that 100 moving average. I don't necessarily think we go straight there. I think that makes no sense. I think maybe right through there with a little bit of a kiss and sideways consolidation, then a breakout or something that effect. I think it's only a matter of time. Just got to wait it out. Boiling not good enough. You know, needs a little bit more time. I hate saying that. That's the truth, man. Every time I thought we needed more time, we did. Every time I thought we were ready to go, I was wrong. So frustrating. I could be right and wrong about the same thing at the same time. Very depressing. All right, here is DAG. So we didn't talk about DAG last stream because there was nothing much to talk about, but here it is again, doing the exact same thing again. She's rolled over, she's failed the trend line, she's failed the 821 EMA, she failed the 50, she failed the 100, she failed the 200. What else did it fail? Can we throw in the Ichimoku cloud? We sure can. Cloud on the end's red, that's a fail. Prices under the cloud, that's a fail. Conversion line under the baseline, the red's on top, that's a fail. Lag line under the candles, that's a fail. What about MACD and RSI? MACD, no help. I'm sorry, RSI, no help. MACD, sell pressure and sell pressure and sell pressure with a little bit of buy volume and then more sell pressure. I'm sorry, folks, but it still looks bad, and I don't think you're going to listen. But no, you've been lied to. I'm sorry, and it just ain't going to work out. But know that there's a lot that needs to change for this thing to go up and maintain it long enough for you to get your money back. In the likelihood, which is extremely low, that this thing shoots way up, please take your profits. Please take your profits. Hopefully they listen. Doubt they will, though. All right, we'll end this off with RBNT, which is a shout out for cheese here. And then we'll clip it, and then we can share it all the way around, all right? How does that sound, cheese? All right, mate. That's not how you say it, but I think I got it pretty close. All right, so here is RBNT weekly. She's just floundering around right now at the bottom, not doing too much. If I go down to daily, you'll see, yeah, there's a buy line. So you'll see we do have some support right here. So it was very, very ugly early today. Then she threw a big green wick. Now she's kind of bouncing around back and forth. It's bounced this support level multiple times before. Let's see if it can do it again. Because if it doesn't, and we don't bounce this level, well, we're likely to make a new low, as we are flirting with the last low right there. Do you see that? How close those are? They're pretty much dead even. Now closing under that right there sets a new low, and that kind of signals the rest of the market, okay, they're going to go in for more. Well, if they're going in for more, I'm going in for more too. Just because of what they did there. You know, it's part of the deal. We can't change anything. Got to wait it out. Look here, S1 failed. I don't like that. Only sign of hope here. You are still over support. You still got that red box right there to hang on. Still not wanting to let go. I don't like the weekly. I don't like the monthly. I don't like the RSI. I don't like the MACD. I don't like the Ichimoku cloud. Pivots and some support is all we've got going for it here. We need this to turn around and go the other way, like we need all the other ones to turn around and go the other way. We just haven't had it happen yet. So there we go. Full hour from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I hope everybody was here to enjoy it, hang out, see some charts, and learn a little bit of something if you can. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the support over the years. Slowly, this thing's winding down. I think we can all tell. But we'll enjoy it while the ride's here. You know what I mean? Hey, I can't control it just like y'all can't control it. We're just cogs in the wheel. I appreciate every single one of y'all watching. Could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. This whole time since 2019, I appreciate every single one of y'all, good or bad, being on here. It's meant the world. All right, let's make the best of our todays, the worst of our tomorrows. Let's have a better day tomorrow than we did today and every day forward. And last but not least, no one else told you today. Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. Zoom for people in the Discord tonight. After the football game goes off, the Cowboys and the Eagles play tonight. My son will be watching, and I'd like to be able to talk to him about it. WAP.com/team786. Sign up. First month's free. Cancel anytime. Thank y'all. I'll be good. Y'all be good. I'll be on Zoom with the Discord people after that. Y'all, I'm out. Sky's the limit. Peace.